Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and I'm still here with Judd. Now we're going to show you another part of his collection that I think is awesome. But we're going to start with something that's not a snake. So why don't you tell me about what you got in your hand here?
These are Gila monsters. These are from the southwest desert of this country, North America. These guys were hatched here 3.5 years ago.
Now they are a venomous lizard.
They
correct?
are a venomous lizard. They are not to be handled. I've held these from the second they came out of the egg.
Right.
And I have not been bit. I've just been, they've been very, very calm through the whole time.
These are
but
captive bred.
I think that's the
reasons.
key is
Yep.
they came out of the egg into my hand.
And then on top of that too, let's say something did happen bad here. Are these going to kill you?
These are not life-threatening.
So there's a difference there, right?
There is a big
Yeah.
difference there. I would not take this risk on a venomous snake
Exactly.
of any
Yeah.
power.
So like,
There's no way.
I mean, yeah, like, you know, we're talking the rear fang to like Asian vine snake, but something that can actually kill you or damage you. This hasn't even caused loss of a body part or anything that's ever been known, correct?
No.
Just
Not
a lot
that I
of
know
pain.
of. Not that I know of.
A lot of pain, maybe a little bit of sweat.
They say the bite alone is very painful.
Yeah.
Not to mention the venom. But they have the lower jaws are kind of puffy. That is where the venom is stored. They do not have a delivery system like a snake where they can actually pump it from a venom gland through a duct to the fang. These guys have to chew on you and let the saliva run into the opening.
And their venom too is a pure defensive venom. It's not used for feeding, from my understanding. They
Probably
overpower
not.
their food.
Probably,
but
so
that
I think in the
hanging
wild
on.
they prey more on bird eggs
Yeah.
and ground nesting bird eggs and things.
And they're really cool in the wild because they get the name from how they look, obviously.
Right.
You know, they're really bumpy. They look like a little monster. And then on top of that, they don't come out very often.
They're more nocturnal. Hold your hand for that.
Oh,
I'm going to
man.
pass him on to you.
That is unbelievable to me. So I am bare-handing a Gila. But again, these have been captive bred, so this thing is awesome. I've held these before, but never, not like this. Usually when I've held them, my hand has been up by the jaw, behind the jaw, restrained. Yep. So that way I can't get bit. These things are just unbelievable that I'm able to do this. Oh my goodness, this is like a dream come true. That is crazy. I think my wife's going to even take a still photo while she's filming. But yeah, they only come out when the rains come, so they'll stay hidden a lot of the time, which is just nuts. So to see one in the wild is actually extremely rare. There's another one. Isn't that crazy?
He has a more pink head.
He does. I was just, so these two.
If you look at the head shape, you cannot sex these prior to watching them breed. Now, some people have had success ultrasounding, looking for the hemipenes. These are unsexed, and I'm not totally sure how to sex them, but they do use different structural things, like the narrower head.
Yeah.
And see the head shape between these two. This one, the one in my hand, is much narrower and more streamlined than this one.
Have these two ever tried to breed?
No, they haven't. I think they're still too young yet. They're 3.5 years old, and
I could
think
actually
they're
feel
still
his
not-
tongue hitting my hand.
I'll take it whenever you're ready.
That's cool. Oh, I'll let you have him back, if you're ready. I just can't believe I actually have to feel one lick my hand. I mean, that's just
And
something.
not bite you.
Well, when restraining, you're never going to feel that tongue, but you could just feel it hitting there. That is wild.
I can watch these for hours. I love these little guys.
Oh, that's one of the dream animals I don't have that I do want to get. So one day, Gila monster probably will happen in our house. But there's a lot of things to them. Like you heard, those were captive bred, so they were bred here, and you have to have captive bred. They are something that you cannot have wild caught, correct?
Legally?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's got to be captive bred. But there are several places that do breed them yourself.
There are
included,
several
so-
places. There are several people that breed them, and they do provide paperwork with them.
Yeah, because it's a must to be able to show this is where I got it. The cool thing is, too, a lot of your local places will restrict venomous snakes, but a lot of the local
lizards.
laws don't say anything about lizards. So if you really want an animal that's venomous, you can, a lot of places have those as long as you get the right one. And it's because most of them don't understand how to write.
It's called a loophole.
Called a loophole, my favorite thing. Now, speaking of venomous snakes, so you do have several. Some things that I've never worked and I'm not familiar with, I'm going to let you kind of talk about, and I'm going to move over here so you can get your camera spot.
Okay.
So what's in this cage?
This is a West African green mamba.
Now, I'll be honest, this is one of the snakes that scares the hell out of me.
They get your attention. They demand the utmost respect.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's just I haven't worked with the lapids very much. I know the mambas tend to be some of the
They're
gnarliest
fast, they're
lapids.
smart.
Yep.
They watch you like a hawk. They understand you.
Yeah.
They follow you. Your gaboon.
The gaboon tracks. Yes.
But they don't move the head.
No, just that eye.
The eyes. These guys will follow every move you make.
Oh yeah. Wow. Now, too, they say there's a big difference in the green and the black in temperament. Have you noticed that?
I've never had a black. I've never been around the black, but I understand they are maybe more aggressive. They're not as arboreal as the green, and they're much longer. Much, much longer.
And being this close to the green, I think the colors on this thing are beautiful.
The colors
because you
really
get
neat.
a little bit of yellow fleck on some of the ends of the scales, and you get the black in between almost.
You've got
every
the
scale.
black skin between the scales.
That's just awesome.
And of course, when he eats, that magnifies.
Yeah, because it's going to stretch out a little bit. Because they're going to eat a pretty big stretchy meal. Being arboreal, skinnier, thinner bodied, does not break tree branches.
Arboreal generally means higher strung, which means faster metabolism.
Oh,
They digest food like a colubrid.
Really? So you feed them one day, we're pooping the next. Almost.
Pretty close.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they have a very high metabolism, very fast.
Wow. That thing is
And
cool.
it's hard to see. Their eyes are so dark, but they do have a round pupil, which, we're used to venomous snakes having the elliptical pupils.
That's
These
what they always
guys
say
do
about
have
North
round.
America. That's only here.
Yeah,
Don't
only
use
here.
that other places. Bad news.
Yeah, but you have to take a picture of it close up, and then expand that picture to really see the pupil.
Because the eyes are just so dark.
They're so dark.
naturally. Yeah. And this is one of the things too that you've been around these a long time, and you've handled these a lot, right?
A lot.
But how do you handle these? I'm not going to make you get it out, so you get it out. But
usually you can. A restraint tube is the best way.
Yeah.
And I had to shed the tip of its tail about a month ago. It left about a 2-inch tip of the tail shed on there, in which we all know you've got to get that off.
Yeah, I was looking restricted.
And so I messed around very carefully with a restraint tube of the approximate size, and didn't scare it, didn't stress it, but got it to go in far enough to where I could grab it by that and pull the skin off,
Right.
and then release it. And that's only hands-on I've had to do.
So that, and then other times it'd be tools, correct?
Tools.
So you would.
I like hooks better than grabbers.
I do too. And now I usually keep a grabber around in case all else fails. It's good to have one.
Yeah.
And I use a grabber to move things in the cage a lot of times, But a hook is.
I like
think,
a hook better
it's
myself.
better. Yeah.
I think it's less stressful on the snake. I know it is. So
That's that's where I'm at now. If it's between it getting underneath something that causes me a lot of issues, we may use the grabber. And I do have one snake I tend to use the grabber on more because I know that animal. And on the hook, she'll start to flip and try to bite.
Yep.
And she's bit herself.
some snakes don't like the imbalance of a hook.
Right.
So
And so with that one, it's almost better just to grab and do it quick so she doesn't bite herself. But so then I guess what I'm getting at though is you're never handling this thing.
this
freehand.
does not come out of here by freehand at all. In fact, I try not to even have to take it out.
Which is the safest way to keep venomous
It
snakes.
is.
I've seen a
No,
big
as
uptick of people wanting to just free handle everything, and that's not always the best practice.
As it gets larger, the best way is a cage with a shift box.
Yep.
Where it is in a box where you're totally safe doing the maintenance and what you need to do in the cage.
And the shift box is where you can go in, you can flip the latch with a tool, it's going to lock down.
You are
and do what
safe,
you want to
the
do.
animal's out of stress. That's the safest way to do it.
So then you've got another cage back here with another green snake I'm seeing. Tell us about this one.
This is a white-lit viper. He's hiding his head right now. We had him out. Plug that in.
What, oh,
The one just hanging there.
yeah.
If you plug in his water, sometimes he will come out to drink.
Let me know when you want me to shut the water off.
Okay.
And you said this snake though it's pretty old, right?
Which one?
This white
This
viper.
one is about probably close to 20 years old.
Which for a venomous snake this size is
Pretty long time.
pretty old. We tried to coach him up before we put him on camera to cooperate what we wanted him to do, but he may be stubborn for us today. But that Mamba's watching you.
Yeah, the mom is watching us like a.
Nothing gets past him.
I know. I see you, Mamba.
You can unplug it now for me.
I see you.
All right, we may not be able to get the white lip to come out and say hi right now, but that's all right. I'm going to play a little bit of a dance game with my camera. And then there's one more animal in here we wanted to show.
I'll let you do that.
Oh, you're going to let me do that one?
Yep.
Okay. Well, right now we're just going to show it, and then for Patreon, we'll actually take it out and place it into its where we're going to put it. So
Bottom drawer, left column, right
bottom
there.
here. So we always going to open with the hook just to see where the animal is. And now we can kind of see in there. There it is. So what we have here is, this is in shed, so I'm not going to mess with it too much right now other than looking at it and showing it, is this is a hyper-melanistic western diamondback. So what you can see is how much more color and black there is on this snake. Now these are a lot different than what we just showed. You can see that thing, even though it's in shed, it's looking directly at me. That's because they can still see the big warm signature of me right there. Yeah, I saw you puff your mouth at me. So if I were to get into range and mess with it, I could take a bite. We're not going to do that. When we move it on Patreon, we're going to use tools. Looking at that snake, it's almost in between small hook and big hook. We'll probably give it a go with the small hook first and then go from there. But this is an animal, you going to rattle for us a little bit? Maybe not. It's going to be pretty calm for a Western because it is captive born. Not all of my Westerns are captive born. It's probably about half and half. You can certainly tell a difference in the captive born versus the wild caught in their attitude and how they're going to react to you, how much they're going to rattle, how they're going to be. But no matter what, it's still not a snake I can ever trust. You will go hands-on with these a little bit with the tool. A hook and tail is pretty normal with these. Well, on the Mamba, I don't know. I don't have enough experience. Would you hook and tail that? Probably not, being arboreal, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably pure hook, because arboreals, they're going to have the strength on the body where Westerns don't typically do that. So this is what we really came for. This is going to get added to our collection at home. And I am super excited about this snake because a hypermelanistic is one that I've always thought looked beautiful, but I've never had the opportunity to have a straight hypermelanistic. Now we have a purple haze, and a purple haze actually has the hypermelanistic gene, but it's in a combo. And to me, a straight hyper is one of the prettiest rattlesnakes you're going to see. You'll also hear them called black. So let me close that up so I can get everything ready, and then we'll move that snake on Patreon. I know, I see you. I'm not going to give you a chance. I promise I'm not. See? Not going to happen. All right, guys. That's all we got for YouTube. Judd, anything you want to add before we go?
I don't think so. Just appreciate you coming by.
Oh, man. Are you kidding? I appreciate this. This thing's awesome. I've been after these forever. Question, girl, anything you want to add?
No question.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.